This is John News Prime with me, and it's minute time now for John News Editorial with Araba Kumsin.
The National Cathedral and President Akufo-Addo are back in the news. You may have heard the president say people criticizing the National Cathedral are like Sanballat and Tobias.
Thank the Presbyterian Church of Ghana for the support it continues to give for the construction of the National Cathedral. Just like Sanballat and Tobias, in the days of Nehemiah, there are some who do not share my view on the building of the National Cathedral. I respect their right to differ, but I'm confident in my decision by the vast numbers of enthusiastic supporters of this project whose spiritual dimension is limitless.
Interesting. Let's go to church. Open your Bibles to Nehemiah chapter 4, verses 1. And it reads, when Sanballat heard that we were rebuilding the wall, he became angry and was greatly incensed. He ridiculed the Jews, and in the presence of his associates and the army of Samaria, he said, what are those feeble Jews doing? Will they restore their wall? Will they offer sacrifices? Will they finish in a day? Can they bring the stones back to life from those heaps? Well, to summarize, despite the mockery, Nehemiah built the wall in 52 days around the city of Jerusalem. This is the reason why building a wall was important at that time. One, a city without a wall was open to bandits, gangs, and wild animals, even though the empire might be at peace. Two, building the wall was to protect the Lord's temple, which could easily be burgled because it had rich decorations. So, it was an emergency. The question is, why are we in a hurry to build a National Cathedral when we are begging the IMF to salvage the economy, which is already in tatters? Ghanaians are religious and generous. I'm very confident that if they found the National Cathedral project very important, especially in these times, they would gladly donate and not hesitate. First of all, Mr. President, you told us that the cathedral will be built through donations from Christians. Then you told us that the state will provide seed money. An amount of 25 million cedis was donated. Then we realized that the state has donated more than just seed money without parliamentary approval. Now, when the finance minister was queried, he said he took the money from the government contingency fund. Now, contingency means a provision for a possible event or circumstance. So is the finance minister saying that the National Cathedral is a contingency? Mr. President, you serve us. We want the National Cathedral, but not in these times. Currently the nation is broke. We can't pay our debtors. We are talking about a debt exchange program. The minority blocked 80 million cedis voted to the National Cathedral in the 2023 budget. But we know that your government may find ways of funding the project without parliamentary approval, just like what the finance minister did by withdrawing from the contingency fund. Mr. President, why is it so difficult for you to listen to us? Nehemiah fought hard to build the wall because it was necessary to protect the temple of God. In Ghana, we also have an emergency, a very serious emergency. We are poor. We are desperate. We are broke. We need you to fix that problem. So why is our emergency not your priority? We need you to immediately fix the economy and protect us just like Nehemiah protected the city of Jerusalem. Mr. President, you said building the cathedral will signify an appreciation to God for sparing the country from conflicts and plagues over the years. We indeed are grateful to God for protecting us. Felix Houphouët-Boigny, the first president of Ivory Coast, he built the Basilica of Our Lady of Peace in 1989. But from 2010 to 2011, Ivory Coast had a serious crisis. Over 200 people died. This happened years after the cathedral was built. Why didn't God spare them from that crisis? Mr. President, for once, listen to your people. Chiefs are saying you should suspend the project. CLOCSAG workers say you should suspend the project. Pressure groups Arise Ghana and Justice for Ghana picketed Parliament just this week to demand that the House does not approve an 80 million cedi allocation for the construction of the National Cathedral.
National Cathedral Ono na de ba bia ontimi mpopa ne din mfiri wo. Na saa mre ne ewom de esoro no. Yesika futuo no. Omfa ne san koka National Cathedral no. Oma ne nsi wo. Na onyere na ho sika se no ntintim ne ye.
In Luke 14:28-30, is there anyone here planning to build a new house, in this case a cathedral, who doesn't first sit down to figure the cost so you know if you can complete it? If you only get the foundation laid, and Mr. Speaker, the Bible is so telling. The Bible knew Ghana will have a president called Akufo-Addo. This is what he says. If you only get the foundation laid and then run out of money, you are going to look pretty foolish. Everyone passing by will poke fun at you. Yes. He started something he couldn't finish. This is the word of the Lord.
The cathedral, according to the president, he made a personal pledge to the deity he worshipped, God. But what beat us is Akufo-Addo never had the courage to put that in his manifesto or his policy programs. He never did. Justice for Ghana has taken a resolute stand that we don't want anything there to be called a cathedral. We want the whole place to be transformed to its previous state.
Also, generally, I mean, a cross-section of Ghanaians believe that the timing is not right. The project, there's nothing wrong with it, but the timing is not right. Mr. President, I want to show you this. Watch. That's the National Cathedral. Very, very, very beautiful project, edifice there. Would you rather have this when your children are like this?
A desk. When I saw the story,
let's review our priorities. If Ghana is still practicing democracy, then, Mr. President, you must listen to the voices of the people.